We are joined now by safety Brian Cook. Brian, good morning. If you would provide us an opening statement about your thoughts of being in the college football playoff before we open the floor for questions.
Can you turn them up a little bit? I'm not.
All right, Brian, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning. If you would provide us an opening statement about your thoughts of being in the college football playoff before we open the floor for questions.
This is a great opportunity for us as a team, as a program. And I think we all, certainly myself, are just grateful for the opportunity we have to compete. That's literally all about. That's all I have.
Our first question comes from Tony Suklitz.
Brian, what have you seen from Alabama's tight ends, and how much of a challenge do they present in the passing game?
It's a nice challenge. Like each and every week is a nice challenge. Their tight ends, they move around a little bit more. They have certain guys who do certain jobs for the team, so obviously you got to key on those guys. But as far as anything else, just game plan and seeing cool, the tendencies are, and from that point on, just making sure we're in the right position to make plays and limit their plays.
Our next question comes from Katie Kapusta.
Hi, Brian. Katie Kapusta with Spectrum News 1 Ohio. Being from Cincinnati, what is it like just to represent your hometown and staying local?
It's great, honestly. Like, coming back home, I can see all my guys I haven't seen for years. My mom, 20 minutes away, which is good. I can see her and her family. So from that aspect, it's also good. And also the football aspect, being able to play, on the big stage and have your hometown friends come home and see you play. So it's definitely a big thing, especially since, as a kid, you dream of these opportunities and these experiences.
Next question comes from Zachary Brazilian.
Hey, Brian, when you have two quarters like you guys have, what makes them? What does that do for a team? What makes them so special?
You said corners, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's great, honestly, especially as a safety. The ability to make checks and things like that, and not really rely on certain things, and not having to lean on one side or the other. Like, have trust in both of those guys for sure. And then also be able to make checks on the fly. Like, they're very intelligent as well. So. Things are very smooth as far as making checks and make sure everybody's in the right position. And then it also gives a lot of freelance, I would say, on the field, especially with the ability they have. I can trust, these guys to do certain jobs that you might not be able to do sometimes. So depending on the package, I might switch it up and ask them to do this instead, just for their play, move on. But I think having those type of guys on both ends definitely does make my job a little easier.
Next question comes from Stephen Hawkins.
Hey, Brian, there's so many next-level guys on this team, so many guys that came back to the senior year for the opportunity that you guys have now. But what has the success of this team done for guys like yourself, for your future prospects, for guys that have shown what they can do possibly for the NFL draft?
It's done a lot, I would say. Guys coming back, Dad's coming back, Kobe coming back, Beaver's coming back. So it just help us improve from what we had last year to what we have now. But I think everybody else would say the same thing. Right now we just focus on the next game. Everything else is playing into part. Obviously it does. You have a little buzz for us, especially with future-wise. But I try not to get too caught up in that aspect. Just at least not right now, because we have a game to play. But from looking at it, it definitely does help us a lot as far as getting looks at, things like that. A little bit more scouts coming to practices and things like that. But it just take it with a grain of salt, appreciate it, but keep moving forward because the job's not finished. We still have things to do.
But do you think that a lot of people that have not paid attention to Cincinnati very closely are going to be surprised at how many next-level NFL-type guys are on this team?
I mean, I would say yes, but then again, it's I don't really know. I say that based on the fact that I don't really know what outside. I kind of keep myself in a bubble. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't keep myself in a bubble. So I only know what I know when I pay attention to or give time to. So a lot of people might not think or might not know that's not their fault because, like, that's not something they was brought into or really seen. All I can say is, like, we do have a lot of guys who can definitely play at a nice level. But, I'm pretty sure that any player from any team would say the same thing. So, like I said, just you have the aspects, you have these guys who can play fairly well and just keep moving forward and keep trying to improve.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Our next question comes from Chad Brendel.
Brian, Chad Brendel, Bearcat Journal. When you watch Jameson Williams on tape, is there anything you can do to kind of prepare for his speed, his quickness, how suddenly he can get on you and turn a 5-yard play into a 50-yard play?
I mean, yeah, let me say you watch film, you can definitely see it. But I think with just any other receiver, things like that, you have to understand, okay, cool, what they like to do, how they like to get the ball, and where they feel most comfortable at and making it uncomfortable for them. But that's with any offense you will face, whether it's quarterback, receiver, running back, like just making sure like they play, as my coach would say, like using their left hand to play against you. So just finding different ways we can attack him as well. Because I know we play defense and we're trying to figure out how you attack us, but a defense mentality we have is very like aggressive one. So just figuring out things we can do to kind of like get him off the game just a bit, make him think a little bit more rather than just running. Because it's a little different. You're just sprinting down, like on track, for instance. You're not thinking during track, you're just running. So you have to run and think a little bit more, and then you might slow down a little bit. So just little things like that.
Our next question comes from Ivan Mazel.
Hi, Brian. You're about to play for a national championship, which is a dream come true for guys on 130 teams. How do you keep this moment? What's the hardest part of keeping this moment from getting too big?
I think the hardest part is obviously with things like this. If I'm being honest, this only come when you reach a certain status as far as like playing ball. So I think things like this and keeping our head level, understand that we're here for a reason. You're not just here because of the fact that okay, cool, it let us sense. Like, no, we played well throughout the whole season. Now let's continue to do that and not really thinking to changing things up, but trying to do things differently in that aspect. So with all this, you just have to be able to narrow in on what you got to do, who the game plan is, who we're facing against, and make sure you go out on the 31st and you play ball and compete at a high level.
So we're screwing up your routine, is that what you're saying?
Nah, it's just, never really had an interview like at 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's a little different. But like I said, I mean, it's fine. At the end of the day, you just got to compete. I have no problem doing this, don't get me wrong, but, it's not something you get week 2 of the season, but you got it now, you know what I'm saying? So things like that, but it's not nothing big, honestly speaking.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Jeremy Rauch.
Hey, wanted to ask you about Jeremy Ralph, Fox 19, Cincinnati. Wanted to ask you about a question that was asked of Curtis Brooks, just about this team and if this feels like now or never. And he said, no, he feels like this is just the start for Cincinnati as a program. Where you are now, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's a lot of, give kudos to Coach Fick, a lot of guys coming in. I wasn't highly recruited, but a lot of high recruited guys coming in. From high school that you can fully develop and get them on the same accord so they can play right away. So things like that. And me, I'm just like this. I've technically been here for 3 years, missed 1 year because of eligibility years. So it's I'm kind of seeing how I came from the bottom to the top, and then now we in a nice position. And then obviously with the team moving to the Big 12, isn't it? The Big 12. It's just more opportunity for guys to really show what they can do. So I would agree with Curtis Brooks as far as it's just the beginning. You're gonna see a lot of big things from this team moving forward. I have a lot of faith in the young boys that kind of mentor in that aspect. But I'm excited to watch them play more than anything.
The next question comes from Justin Williams.
Brian, you talked about last year and kind of what that did for you. The Peach Bowl was kind of a coming out moment for you, where one of your first chances to get to start and play with Wiggins being out. What do you remember about that performance? And then what do you feel like did it give you any kind of a confidence boost heading into this year?
First question. It really did. As far as my bad. Ask the question again. I was thinking too fast.
No, you're good. Like the Peach Bowl last year, what was that performance like for you when you were able to kind of show what you could do on that stage? And then also if it gave you a boost heading into this season.
It was good. I would say, I'm very hard on myself. So like I look back at the film and it's like I still could have made a lot of plays that I missed, or like plays that I did make could have made a little better. Especially with the way it ended. Like you can't help but really think about like the things you could have corrected in my end. From the outside looking in, like I definitely played well, but there's always room for improvement. So no matter how good or the bad a game is, you can still improve, and even your best play, you definitely improve on. So that's how I feel about that game. As far as confidence boosters, like it was more of like confidence booster. It was more like settling for me. That makes sense. Like because I'm very close with Wiggins. We still talk to this day. He's doing his thing at Arizona, Defoe, Washington. Like things like that. So I think for now, like with them having them help coming up in their program, and to learn different things. Because I don't play safety for 3 years now, so just learning from them on a day in aspect. I just think that for this season for me, it's just more of like okay, settling, and like I now have a routine, and I have like a little thing that I got going for myself, and finding my own way to play the position. If that makes sense. So. That was pretty much it. Just finding, like I said, I just want to improve on different things and be like the best version of myself I can be. So rather than from the Peach Bowl, which is a good game, I played good, but just improving on that game week in and week out. And that starts before even the first game starts. That starts when spring ball. That starts when mat drills, things like that, and then transfer up into camp and in the season, just a day-to-day thing, honestly.
Our final question comes from Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, as a Cincinnati native, what are your thoughts on the local chili?
Well, I'm probably gonna get like a lot of criticism about this, but I personally think like Gold Star is better. For me, a lot of people say Skyline. I think because like when I was younger, I ate it and like I had a bad tummy ache. So I think ever since then I just never ate it again. So I probably am biased on that aspect. I probably should try it again and give it another shot. But ever since then, I just haven't tried it. I'd rather eat Gold Star. Now I don't eat Gold Star that often, as far as like because I have other foods to eat. But if I was to pick, I'd pick Gold Star. But I'll give Skyline another chance to redeem themselves.
What in general, just about the whole idea of Cincinnati chili? People outside the area might not think it's that good. But what are your thoughts? Like, how would you sell someone on what makes Cincinnati chili good?
Well, since I've been growing up on it, so like to me it's like a shock if people don't know about it, like kind of like Grippos. But for me it's more of it's a culture, like a culture. I guess you can say a city thing, a city culture thing. That's what we have. So like you eat it, and from growing up with it, it's like we used to this. So you bring your friends from out of town, it's like, oh, try this, and now like, oh, this is really good. To me, it's like, yeah, it is, but I've had it my whole life. If that makes sense. So you can't really I don't know. But as far as selling it wise, like I can't really give it in perspective. You just have to really try it for yourself. Because like I said, you have two different ones, so you can have your preference. A lot of people on this team, like Skyline. I'm not one of those people at the moment, but you just find your preference. So I think just come to any city, trying for things. That's just what we have. You go to Philadelphia, cheesesteaks. So there's some things you have to try when you come to the city. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Ryan, thank you very much.
No problem.
Best of luck on Friday.